Police training in full swing in the West Bank. It's one of the public order enforcement exercises that take place over 12 days at the police headquarters in Ramallah. Supported by a European mission called EUPOL COPPS, more than 1,000 police officers have been through this training. These ones in particular work guarding consular offices and other official buildings. The youngsters have only been here since last Saturday. What was their role? They're positioned in front of the consulate, the embassy, the building to be protected. They're what we call static guards. That's what they've been trained to do. They learned how to do what you saw them doing today in just 3 days. The law enforcement exercises follow on from each other. Police officers must be able to manage demonstrations that get out of hand and to work effectively under a joint command. The EUPOL COPPS trainers are there to help the Palestinian Authority police force progress. The goal is to reduce the level of violence and make sure public disorder situations do not get out of control. As you know, everything in this world requires constant updating. The training techniques of the police force are no exception. Crime evolves. The police force must therefore also evolve. Even ways of demonstrating have changed. The police force must change accordingly.
What is human rights?
Since January 2006, the EUPOL COPPS mission has been helping the Palestinian Authority to create the foundations of a future Palestinian state, in the field of security in particular. The mission is working on all fronts. They are training men, but they're also rebuilding police stations, replacing equipment, hundreds of vehicles, and setting up a police computer network.
It's important to develop institutions for the Palestinian Authority, for an eventual Palestinian state. Underpinning that has to be security. Underpinning security has to be a civilian police force that's responsible to a civilian ministry, the Ministry of the Interior, and accountable to an independent judiciary. A police force meeting international standards that you'd find anywhere in the world. That's an important basis for any future Palestinian state.
In effect, everything is interconnected. It is not enough for the police force just to arrest criminals guilty of this or that crime. It's also necessary to have an operational judicial system to judge them, and a prison in which to lock them up if they're guilty.
Many of the police facilities, stations and prisons were destroyed during the Second Intifada between 2005-6. So we're looking at prisons, and then we found the prisons were full, and we looked at that, and then we realised that part of the problem is the judicial, the courts. So the mission has now expanded from about 14 officers when I arrived 2 years ago to nearly 70 internationals and nationals.
The new members of the team are based here on the heights of Ramallah. The team now includes judicial experts, prosecutors, defense specialists, and human rights specialists to reconstruct the Palestinian judicial system.
We need to look at the way the courts are run. For example, the difficulty here is to get the accused, the police officer, police witness, civilian witnesses, prosecutor, judge, defence, all in the same room at the same place at the same time. And that's not difficult in France, it's not difficult in England, but here, with checkpoints and with the rest of it, it is difficult.
As you can see, EUPOL COPPS is not solely concerned with training the police. The mission is there to ensure that the judiciary operates effectively, so that all Palestinians can hope to live out their lives in a democracy with a real rule of law and an effective security system.